Hi guys, welcome to Mama Pam Speaks. It's been a kind of long little day, but grateful for everything that God has done in my life. This is episode 7. This is episode 7. Starting out tonight saying that Jesus is my everything. No matter what I go through, I still trust Him because He has made a believer out of me. From the adverse situations that I went through and the things that I yet go through. I believe that He's with me, and when everybody else forsook me, He was right there by my side. That's why I'm still alive at 59 years old. Grateful y'all. Grateful y'all that know me personally know that it's been a journey. It has truly been a journey. I am so grateful tonight. Shout out to my friend Tina Turner. I saw you today earlier. She want to know what time I'm coming on. People are beginning to support me. One of my dearest clients at my job. Him and his wife gave me a donation today. I am grateful to you guys. You know who you are. I'm not gonna put you on blast, but I know who you are. I mean, thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. That you see something in me that wants to promote what I'm doing. Now, guys, before I even begin tonight, let me just say this. This is not for glitz, fame, or fortune. Now, yeah, naturally, as a podcaster, there are going to be donations because there's things that I'm going to put out. Like I'm going to do my book Audible. So many people have not got a chance to read it. I wrote it in my 7th year, and this is episode 7. I wrote it in my 7th year. We're going to get to that in a minute, but this is to motivate somebody to let them know that whatever you've been through, you're not alone. Whatever you think you're getting ready to go through, you're not alone. I didn't have so many adverse situations in my life. I'll tell you the truth. Ask me, I've been through it, or done it, or seen it, or whatever. And I'm still here. So that's the blessing, guys. That's the blessing. That we make it through these storms, that we make it through these trials, that we make it through these tribulations. Just to share briefly, man, I'm going through something right now. I had to think to myself, in my prayer time and meditation time, I said, guess what? Girl, you've been there before. You've been there before. I remember one time, guys, I'm gonna share this with you before we get into this. I got a revelation one time when I was in prison. I was sitting and looking out the window, watching the ladies go back and forth. It was my day off. That's what I do. Get me a cup of coffee, sit, look out the window, meditate. Meditation is good for the soul and the mind. So, with that being said, I remember one day sitting in the chair, sipping on my coffee, and um, that calm, beautiful voice came to me and said, "Go to the book cabinet, get the dictionary, and look up soldier." Hmm. I'm seeing my spirit. I'm drinking my coffee. I know what a soldier mean. Then I want to get all spiritual. I went, I'm a soldier in the army. Wait, I got through with my little shenanigans. Once again, the convoy said, go get the dictionary. I need you to look up soldier. I'm in my mindset. I'm kind of hard headed anyway, kind of stubborn anyway. I said, listen, soldier mean they fight in the army. They go to war. In my mindset, that's what I'm saying. So third time it came, I was obedient. I got up, went to my bookcase in the day room and grabbed one of the dictionaries. Went to soldier. Soldier got about 5 definitions to it. Go fight with others, what, so forth, and so on. Look it up yourself. Sit now, look up warrior. Warrior has one. Experienced in battle. He said, no longer do you call yourself a soldier. Sometimes you're gonna have to walk this life alone. He said, don't go around here and keep calling yourself no soldier. You're gonna have to walk this life alone sometimes. But I'll always be with you. And he's proven that to me, y'all. He's proven that to me. Anyway, guys, in my 7th year, we starting on 7, coming out of 6.5, going into 7. By now, I'm real popular in prison. You would think I was a celebrity when I walked down the sidewalk past the CRC program building for addicts coming, trying to get clean, trying to get ready to go home. You would think I was a celebrity coming down the sidewalk. Their building was E1 was right next to E2, which was the honor dome. I'm coming down the sidewalk. Miss Pam, Miss Pam, Miss Pam. And I'm looking at it. um looking at it, I'm going, wow, hey guys, how y'all doing? What's up, y'all? Didn't get no air pumped up in my chest, but I was beginning to be known that I was who I say I was. I ain't saying one thing and doing another. We find so many fake counterfeits. We used to call it counterfeit when I was out there in the world. We used to call it in the streets. We used to call it counterfeit. Counterfeit don't spin. So I ain't never wanted to be counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? Up to this day. Up to this day. And I want you to know that, I have been licensed as a minister. I don't know where it's going with this, but anyway, I trust God either way, however it goes, but still ain't with that. I still ain't with that, because we all sin. We all sin. If we don't sin physically, we have some sins going on in our mind. I'm just being real. That's what repentance is for. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna preach the gospel tonight. This is all about prison and being convicted from the man of a female convict. Right now I'm gonna talk about my 7th year. All right, y'all. I'm still, still. This is never gonna end in my heart. Ain't no sense in me lying to you. I'm still gonna miss those beautiful children of mine. Um, I'm still grieving in my heart, even after 5 years. She died in 2002. My mom's died in 2002. I didn't get no closure. Savannah wouldn't transport me. Matter of fact, they ain't had no money anyway to get me home. But anyway, with that being said, still in my heart some days, especially on the weekends when I'm off from that detail from the sewing plant, still thinking about her. I know she can't come back. I got a lot more knowledge now of the Bible. You see, some go to prison, they become Muslims. Some of us go to prisons, we become Christians. You see, but I want a fake Christian. I'm telling you, God has to guide me. God has to lead me. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know how to do this without, we used to call it in the fellowship a higher power, and choose to call my higher power God and his son, Jesus Christ. So with that being said, they would say in the fellowship that your higher power could be a doorknob. If that's what you believe, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got a heaven or hell to put nobody in, and I don't still run around trying to put nobody in heaven or hell, because that would make me God, and I am not him. Okay? So with that being said, going into that 7th year, still every now and then, people still, like I said in my earlier podcast, met some really cool pen pals, and that one faded away, another one came along, writing me. They were so motivated and enthused with me. They would get their parents to send me money periodically. Now I ain't talking about no every week. Now I'm saying periodically what I say. Okay, so when I left the streets, I had a extended mom's. She's gone on. We funeralized her on last year. Miss you, mom. Miss you so much. I miss talking to you. She became my extended parent. She became my extended parent. So she was getting older. Her husband was getting older. Not only did she become my extended parent, but she made her husband become my extended daddy as well. So with that being said, I remember one night, man, I had got that grid, and I'm thinking, I done came back from long-term maintenance. I got a grid that possibly could send me home earlier. So I had got on the phone with her. I was like, Mama, I was crying. I was like, Mama, Mama gone. Mama, if I don't got a place to parole too, they gonna make me bring this 9 on in. And I remember her getting on the phone and calling her husband, and both of them got on the phone and talked to me. Mama and Daddy, rest in peace, love y'all. Got on the phone. He said he was a very calm, smoking man. He said, "Don't worry about it. As long as me and her got a place to live, you coming home." I said, "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you." So I was already set in my mindset. I'm not worrying about that no more, because a lot of times in prison, if you ain't got no place to parole to, you gonna do that. Sometimes you gonna max out. Sometimes you gonna max out. I still got a ways to go now. You remember it's still 2007. I still got a ways to go. They still saying 2009, but we hopeful now because got this piece of paper that they might cut 6 months of my sentence. Like I say, they did. We'll get into that in the next episode, but anyway, with that being said, that's one relief off my mind. That's one thing, and then I got my older sister. If they can get in touch with her and things are going good, I can come to her or I can come to mama. So either way, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. And I got a place to come. Okay, because we didn't try the halfway house thing. Ain't nobody, they ain't gonna send me back no halfway house. I bucked on them with that long term man. They ain't sending me nowhere. So anyway, we know how the system work. We done been, excuse me, y'all. We done been locked up for a while. We understand how the system work. So with that being said, periodically still think about the kids. Every now and then somebody come that I know from Savannah. I'll tell them send such a thing. They'll say send such a thing to me. They call them around, man. They good. They doing good. They growing up. They real pretty. My boy, he still, not following in my footsteps because I was a different caliber than these young people. We was totally different. See, we had respect in the game. We had honor in the game. You see, we wanted everybody to eat. These days and times it's totally different. I tell them all the time, if you 40 years old, you ain't got your own house and your own car, baby, give it up and get a job. Get it up and give a job. I ain't gonna even tell you how much on this podcast money I had when I was younger, but by the time I was 25 years old, I was set. Okay. So with that being said, let's get back to prison. I met one of the ladies that lived in the honor dorm with me. She began to write cookbooks, spiritual books. She's sending them out too, boy, and getting them published from prison. Okay, so I still working on self. Asking God to lead me all the way through the way. Still working on self, and I remember I said, "Why don't you like to write in your journal? Why don't you put that job on paper? If she can write a book, so can you. But yours is going to be a totally different book. We're going to talk about what happened throughout your life and the mistakes you made and where you came from. Let's do that." So, guys, I'm telling you, they had to pull me off my detail. My counselor came to me. She said, "Sanders, you done worked in that PI long enough. I'm taking you out of PI. I'm going to make you a dome, orderly." So with that being said, me and this little Mexican lady who gonna transport her back to Mexico. I don't know what the devil she was saying in Spanish, and she don't know what I was saying in English. But me and her were dome all this together, man. We get out there, we got to have inspection, board daily inspection every day. Okay, whether you want to or not, you're gonna have it. So with that being said, me and her get out there. We do the yard, and some days I do the showers, whatever, whatever. When I got back to that, I pulled out a composition book. Now this particular officer that was my week officer for that week. I always thought she was kind of arrogant, like she above us and all that. Most of them came from the country anyway, Eastman and marijuana robbers and Macon and nothing. And it was a whole slew of them, whole family had worked there. But anyway, to make a long story short, she they start giving much respect, because you see, I ain't had no flaws. If when they see you ain't got no flaws, they respect you. I had one officer used to call me Miss Sanders. Believe that. That's right. I had one officer, one no offender inmate. Every time I went to her desk, she said, "Can I help you, Miss Sanders?" Big pretty lady too. I said, "Yes, ma'am." Permission to speak, Sanders. That ain't even important. I said, "Yes, ma'am." Send whatever, I'm going up there to the desk for the exit, And so I had to start gaining. I had to earn that badge. I had to earned it by then. The first thing I earned it with, my warden was getting ready to retire. Now we hold 1,100, 1,200 females. She was getting ready to retire. And I was one of the women from the Honor Dome that they asked to speak at her retirement. We're talking about 600, 700 officers, 600, 700 individuals in one gym. And I was one to stand up. So, I mean, from there, I took flight. Still living positive in my heart, believing in me, believing what I'm doing. Suicidal ideations hadn't came in a couple of years, I believe. Shoot, every now and then, little headaches, little pains, might have to go to medical, but trying to stay fit. I remember I got up to 226. I walked that jive down 50 pounds. I was weighing 180, 183, looking like a dime. That's right. I mean, ain't nothing else in prison to do. What you gonna do? Take care of yourself. Baby, I might have a few debits in my luck every now and then. I ain't trying to eat all that, be all bust up and fat and taking mental health medicine running out the side of my face, man. I thought I was stronger than that, so that's what I did. So every day I would get to that table and I would write. And she would come down the hall. I would tell her something to write a book. She said, "You ain't saying this?" I said, "Yeah, I'm finna write a book." She said, "You ain't saying this?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "When you write chapters, read it. I'm gonna come down here so you can read it to me." I said, "Yeah, tell me what you think." So I would get that cup of coffee, got a 20-ounce cup of coffee, 20-ounce cup. So I would get that cup of coffee and I would sit to that table. And for some reason, the more I wrote, the more I began to heal. Now my therapist had and gave me some guidelines and stuff like that to go by. They wouldn't recommend me no medicine. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. They said I was a little bit too intelligent for medicine. For real, for real. I'm serious, y'all. That's what that man told me. He said, "I can give you something right now." He said, "But you don't need that. You're a little bit too intelligent for that." He said, "Whatever you go, you will get through it one day." I would look at him. I probably in my subconscious still want to get high. So they say that medicine gets high. But that was way back then anyway. They didn't give me none. Shoot. I ain't know what the pill called for nothing. So anyway, um, I started writing, guys, and I'm gonna tell you something. The more I wrote, the more cleansing came out of me. I started remembering things that had happened to me that my subconscious had blocked out. See, what I learned now and what I know now at 59 years old, your mind is the biggest recorder there is. It was before all this technology, DVDs, video. Your mind can lock some stuff up in it. It can delete it. It can pause it. It can continue to play. Okay? So I was finding out some things I ain't thought about since I was a child. These things coming to mind. All right. At times did it not get tearful. At times did it not get painful. Because some of these things I had blocked out. I'm not lying to you. So then I began to identify why I was like I was. Because there's some pain that was in me that was coming out that I had forgot about. I didn't push dirt. I ain't push delete. But it's on pause. Now I'm in my 40s and that job just coming out. I said earlier, that I had some anger stuff going on. I did. I was hurt. I was hurt. Since I was a child, man, I was hurt. You know. Um I Hey y'all, how y'all doing? All is well, all is well. But I was hurt for many, many reasons. Um and that thing began to come out in my book. I began to remember stuff, boy. I'm telling you, I had to been 5, 6 years old. Some of this stuff that I was remembering, and I'm going, boy, you got to deal with this. Pam, you have to deal with this to make you a better person. You got to deal with pain, or to stop your life, and you'll repeat the same circle. It's called insanity. That's what it's called. It's called insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Now, I'm gonna tell you some things later on. Did I not repeat insanity when I came back on? Sure did in certain areas. Yes, I did. I'm gonna tell you that later on. We're gonna talk about that, okay? But anyway, guys, I began to write this book. Wrote it on a composition book. And I'm gonna briefly, before I close this out, I'm gonna read the first page to you. I'm gonna read the first page to you. The book is called The Little Girl Next Door, From Death to Life. The Pamela M. Sanders Houston story. It's gonna be available soon. Audible. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to selling any paper copies. I hadn't promoted that job in so long. I promoted back about 10 years ago, so like 350 copies locally in my city. Everybody was asking for one. Actually, still now people ask for one. And I want you guys to know that it's getting ready to go Audible. I'm gonna do something with it. I'm also gonna do some things that um is gonna promote some more things, but I'm more business minded now than I was when I was younger. I was street minded then, but I'm more business minded now that I've gotten older. But I began to write. Not only that, I still had to live life in prison. I still had to yet deal with those demons that were haunting me all of my life. They began to come out. Did I let up on God? Certainly not. Matter of fact, I tried to get closer to Him because it wasn't no time to break now. It wasn't no time to break. You in 7 years, girl. There ain't no time to break now. There ain't no time to break. You got to make it out of here now. You got to make it out of here because there's a life out there somewhere for you. You know, not knowing that I'm coming to my mama or my older sister Sharon, but not knowing where my destiny is. No home, children, no mama. I'm coming out to nothing. Okay. And I told myself, I said, man, you can't break now. You can't break now. You got to deal with this. Ain't no running to that man. That man can't feel inside what you feeling. Man, listen here. What you need to do is keep praying, keep journaling, and identify that you, like he told you one time, you wasn't a bad person. You need to get that in your heart and soul. Okay? Don't shut down no more. Talking about you ain't talking no more. You ain't talking no more. I read some really nice ladies, man, on my sitters, man. Every last one of them that was cool with me. One went back to Jamaica, shot me money. One went back to Jacksonville, Florida, shot me money. Girl, I mean, my friends, these ladies that I met, they was leaving me big rope chains and this for you. I'll send you some money when I get home. Why? Because they saw no flaw in me. Okay? Not only that, that was favor. And favor just ain't fair. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. Favor just ain't fair. I don't care who said they doing this to you or who said they doing that to you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Keep believing. Keep hoping. Keep trusting. Because in the end, it's all going to work out. Because favor ain't fair. So anyway, with that being said, finish up. I actually finished my book. I ain't gonna lie to you. I finished my book in 2 weeks. Why? Because it was about me. It was about me. It's easy to write about you. I didn't know that. It's easy to write about you. Because if you're being honest, and my book is a book of honesty. When I first brought that drive out, first West Savannah, West Savannah, my family from West Savannah, and the Seaport. I'm from Garden City. I was raised in Garden City. I was the first female to write a memoir. So, I done did some things in my life. Mm-hmm. Sure have. And people was wanting to know, oh, Lord, when the family put me in that darn book. Because the book was real. It's honest. It's honest. If I did it, I wrote it. If I did it, I wrote it. Why? Because God knows. And you can one day use that for a testimony. Okay? So you got these skeptics out here. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. You got these skeptics out here saying, well, what's she shooting a podcast about prison for? Because I've been to prison, that's why. And I've overcame. And I'm still beautiful. And I'm still smart. And I am somebody, that's why. Okay? Some young woman out there needs to know that just because this happened to you, you can overcome. You can make mistakes after you come on. And you can live a successful life. That's why I'm doing it. I don't care if I don't say but one, because I'm going to tell you my whole life story on these podcasts. And guess what? I'm going to go to them. I'm going to go to my journey with Christ after that. So y'all stay tuned. Okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm going to read you the first page of this book. I'm not gonna get into this book too much. I'm gonna let you order it as soon as I get ready to put it online. I'm gonna let you guys that haven't gotten it yet, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and order it. Once again, look in the Library of Conquerors. If you think it's a joke, some people think you're joking. They thought I was joking when I came home with that composition book and told them, I said, I wrote a book. I'm gonna get it published one day. So periodically, the naysayers would see me and they would say, hey girl, how you doing? All right, how you? Your book out yet? I said, no, but it's coming one day. Yeah, and it did. 6 years later, my husband, my wonderful husband, called a lawsuit and I published my book. Okay. Only believe, guys, that you can be anything you want to be. Don't be afraid to dream. Okay? Joseph was a dreamer. They threw him in the pit. Okay. Read your Bible. I ain't gonna tell you, but read your Bible. Okay, sometimes read your Bible because some of this stuff is in there. All right. So with that being said, guys, I wrote my book in 2007. The last part of my sentence, the officer would come to me every day, say, "This is what you wrote today," and I would read it to her. She said, "Girl, that is good. I can't wait till this book come out, girl. That is good." I said, "For real, girl, you think so?" Now we didn't went from inmate down through the year because she been my officer for a long time. We didn't went from inmate to offender to girl. Okay. All right. With that being said, um, I would read it to her every day. I wrote that down in 2 weeks. So by the last week, I didn't wrote. I said, "Girl," I said, "it's done." She said, "Read me the last chapter." And she would come down and stand up by my little table. I'd be drinking my coffee, writing. And so some of it wasn't edited, but I could read it because it's my writing. So with that being said, she said, "Girl, it's good." She said, "It's going somewhere too." And I told her like this. I said, in the process of writing this book, I said, I heard something in my heart saying, "Girl, this ain't no ordinary book. This is a movie. Now watch my smoke. Watch what my daddy do." It's been 10 years and ain't nobody picked it up as a movie. I had a man named Donald Crenshaw was gonna work with me. We was gonna shoot a movie in Savannah. My funding wasn't right, but the movie was getting ready to start a couple of years ago. But with that being said, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Watch. It's only for somebody else to have faith and believe in their dreams. Okay, guys, with that being said, I'm getting ready to read the very first page of it. I'm gonna read it to you. Patient's name, Paula Marie Glenn, medical record, billing, discard physician, MD, room and bed, Memorial University Medical Center, Savannah, Georgia. Date of admission, 8/16/1999. A 36-year-old black female was admitted to the emergency room department, escorted by the GC Police Department. She was found hanging from her bedroom ceiling by her neighbor, about to kick the block from under her. She appears to be drifting in and out of consciousness, babbling on of what appears to be a fearful tragic or tragedies in her life. Chief complaint, patient states, "I feel so empty. Please let me die. I do not want to live without my children and my family." History of patient. Patient appears to be well physically, but has been distraught mentally. She admits she's had several drinks along with powder cocaine and prescription depression pills. She has not eaten in over a week and has been admitted on several occasions to Georgia Regional for depression, but has never followed through with any long-term treatment. Diagnosis. Patient will be admitted and monitored throughout a 72-hour period. Patient is still muttering what appears to be her past life growing up. Patient need extensive treatment. Whether or not she will survive depends on how much trauma she's experiencing in her mind. Nurses note. She seems to be a good lady with intelligence, and she is fortunate that she did not kick the block from under her. 8/16/1999, September 6th, 1999. I committed the crime that I did. I was distraught. I was hurting. I felt alone. I felt there was no hope. Had I kicked that block, I would have never known that I would live to see 10 grandchildren. Had I kicked that block. Had I kicked that block, I would have never known I could be married for almost 15 years. Had I kicked that block. Had I clicked that block, I would have never made it to prison. It was nothing good in me, y'all, that I did. It was God's grace and His mercy. When I think about it today, I discussed with y'all earlier about suicide. Suicide when a person's suicidal. And I might be talking to somebody tonight. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm living proof. Don't do it. Because you can make it. You can make it. The pain may seem so intense sometimes that it just, I understand. See, I've been there. I understand. It feels like a wrenching in here. Okay. And you can't stop it. You can't even get high enough to make it go away. But I'm here to tell you some living proof of what Almighty God can do. Y'all, to their own self, always stay true. From the table of Pamela Sanders Houston, stay real. Stay real. Hey guys, this is gonna end my podcast for tonight. When we come back, we're going into going into episode 8. I did 8 and 8. That's gonna conclude that part of my life. We will begin a new episodes. I am grateful that you guys let me come before you. Once again, thank you to my supporters that's already supporting me. God bless you guys. Love y'all. Man, y'all period my strength. Every day ain't a good day, but I'm determined to make it. How about that? Good night, guys. Love y'all. Tina Turner, hey.